Okay, using inverse operations. Now we're going to stick to the basic operations of adding, subtracting, multiplying and dividing. And we're going to look at these. So adding, if I'm adding 7 to something, to get back to where I started, which is what an inverse is, I would have to subtract 7. So 3 plus 7 is 10. 10 minus 7 takes me back to the 3. If I'm subtracting something, so I'm subtracting maybe 4, to get back where I started I would have to add 4. 6 take away 4 is 2, 2 plus 4 is 6. Adding 4 takes me back to where I started. So we can see that adding and subtracting are inverses of each other. Multiplying, if I've got multiplying by 5 for example, to undo that I would have to divide by 5. So 10 times 5 is 50, 50 divided by 5 takes me back to the 10. So timesing and dividing are inverses, and therefore dividing by 2, the inverse of that would be to times by 2. So 10 divided by 2 is 5, 5 times 2 is 10. So multiplying and dividing are inverses of each other. Now how does that apply to finding missing numbers? Well, here's 4 examples of expressions where there's a missing number. We've got to try and find what it is. Now, quite often I see people not really getting the hang of what the equal sign means. The equal sign is telling you that everything on the left hand side is equal to the right hand side, everything on the right hand side. So whatever calculation I've got on the left hand side, the answer to that calculation is the same as the answer to the calculation on the right hand side. But what I see people doing is this: they just look at the first bit, they go, oh, 10 plus what is 20, or 10 plus 10 is 20, and forgetting about the times by 4, which I find difficult to understand, but that's what people do. So what we need to do is to think about all of this side and all of this side. So 20 times by 4 is 80. Now 10 plus what equals 80? Well, that's clearly 70. So you must do, if there's a calculation on one of the sides that you can do, you must do that before you think about what's equal to what. Okay, so on this one, 58 take away 54 is 4, but that's not what it's asking you. It's asking you 58 take away something equals 4 times 10, which is 40. So you must work out this value. So something taken away from 58 is 40. Now I can just work that out in my head if I can do that, or I can use this inverse operation to figure it out. So if I'm doing 58 take away something equals 40, if I think about what I'm adding to 40 to make 58, which is 18, then that would be what I'm taking away from 58 to make 40. Okay, and again, this one, don't be tempted to put a 2 here. 2 plus 6 is 8, but this is not 8, this is 8 times 10, which is 80. So what have I got to add to 6 to make 80? Well, that's 74. 74 plus 6 is 80. Now again, I could have done an inverse operation there and taken away the 6 from the 80 to get 74, or I can just spot it. That's okay. Again, work this out. 40 divided by 2 is 20. 25 take away what is 20? Well, that's going to be 5. And again, I could think about what do I add to 20 to make 25, or I could just work out what the answer is straight away.